Orgasm in the circle. Carlin, it's so different. And we were kicking around this week. Why? Why is orgasm in community so unique?
I think about what women have said, their feedback after a workshop. And
Hmm.
I remember a young woman said it was the first time she had a sex positive experience in her life.
Ah,
Because in the circle, it's all women. We're
yes.
stimulating our own bodies, sharing our sex energy, which is very inspiring.
Hmm.
If you hear a woman building up to an orgasm, all of a sudden your orgasm just pops out. And we've been educated and
Right.
we've had all these rituals of shared vulnerability. We are equal.
Yeah.
It's the first time. It's fun, right?
Right. Right.
Cool.
Well, and we have permission and support, not just permission, but support from other women for pleasure. And we don't get that in partner sex because in partner sex, it's all about our partner's pleasure.
That's how we've been conditioned.
Right.
And many of us are heterosexual. So, yes, the female model of sexual response is very different than the male model of sexual
Mhm.
response. And you're trying to get the two to fit together.
Yeah.
And then as women, we haven't been supported to find our sexual voice, to say,
Yes.
hey, this is my preference. We haven't even had the time and space and privacy to figure out our preference.
Right. Right. So in the circle, we're not responsible for anybody else's pleasure but our own.
And that is liberating. And what I love is, the orgasms break out and then people start taking pee breaks and then we're eating snacks and then little conversations start.
Hmm.
And then someone's building up to an orgasm. You're like, oh, I want to go back for another one.
Right.
And being able to see the diversity
Hmm.
in the sexual response and that women look different and sound different. The orgasms are different. It makes us feel more relaxed that it doesn't have to be any one thing.
Exactly, exactly. And I think genital show and tell just kind of sets us up for that unconditional acceptance and non-judgment. I have not found that anywhere else but in a body sex circle.
I remember you sharing that, Laura.
Hmm. Yeah.
And you were orgasmic, and when you came to the circle, that's what it was about. And it's true, as women, we come there nude because then we don't have any status symbols, right? We don't
Right.
have fashion. We don't have anything to divide us.
Yes.
And
Yes.
we're all equal and we can come together and we can share. And Betty felt really strongly that when women can have an experience of pleasure outside of romance,
Yes.
it builds self-esteem.
Hmm. Yes, yes, yes. And just think of in so many ways as women, how we sync together, like women that live together, their menstrual cycles sync up, right? It just, so the same thing happens with orgasm energy in the circle.
It's just a vibration.
Hmm.
What is an orgasm? It's the buildup of tension and then a release in the body.
Yeah. And how many times have I heard an orgasm go right around the circle?
Oh, that's when it cuts like magical.
Right?
That's when you're
Right?
like, what is this voodoo stuff that's going on here? I
Yeah.
think as women being with just female sexual energy just once
Yes.
shifts our perspective of ourselves and our community and even what our priorities are. Betty and I used to always talk about the body sex effect because
Yes.
women would take workshops and if they were in a dysfunctional relationship, they ended it. If they hated their job, they left. So we had one woman who decided, I've always wanted to live in Japan.
Hmm.
So I'm leaving the US and I'm going to Japan. I'm just going to do it. Why not? Um, when we get a little hit of pleasure, a little bit of joy,
Right.
and there's no beauty myth, and there's no slut stigma, and there's no performance, and there's no romantic love, there's no failure.
Right, right, right. And it's only about pleasure, right? We have permission to do what we want. We have permission to take our pleasure for ourselves.
We are becoming active. So when we shift from passive to active
Mm.
in our sexual expression, that you flip that switch. It's
Right,
100%, and
right.
then you're doing it in every aspect of your life. Because every so often, Betty and I would say, did we drink the Kool-Aid? Is
Yeah.
orgasm really that important?
Hmm.
You can scrape it off the plate. You can live without it. And we always came back to no, it's the sense of self,
Yes, yes.
knowledge.
Yes. And it's different when it's just women, right? Because, Betty would talk about in her orgies about how, after they were all done together, the women would go in her back room and start vibrating.
The energy builds.
Yes.
And I think it's because of women in the female model of sexual response. There's no limit. There's
Mm-hmm.
no end. So the
Mm-hmm.
first orgasm is this little wave that comes in and goes out. And then we might take a break, but we can coast a little. We don't lose our erection. And then we go back, and then they keep on building, building, building. So when you can crescendo like that with a
Mm-hmm.
group, whew,
Right.
if that's not church, I don't know what is.
Exactly, exactly. And then you're together and you support each other to keep going. I know sometimes when I'm by myself, I'll have one orgasm and okay, that was satisfying. And then I'll go on with my day, which is great. But when I'm together in the circle, I'm inspired.
Yeah. So we're having a live body sex workshop this May 3rd and 4th in Cleveland, Ohio. We'd love to have you in the circle. It's bodysex.com/workshop. And we're also doing another $10 Zoom class, Vibes and Best Practices. And we're doing that April 5th.
Hmm.
And you can find it on bodysex.com. If you go there, it's right on the front page under events. We'd love to see you there as well.
Yes.